All right, we're live.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one and only V, the Grill Economist, coming to you live on this edition of Rogue Money Mornings with my main man, CJ, aka El Cuco, aka the master of the flux capacitor. We give you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Check us out, roguemoney.net, Rogue Money on Twitter, Rogue Money on Facebook. I hate Facebook. Wasn't it great watching that Data from Star Trek being grilled by the congressmen and senate.
It was comical.
It
It
was
was
great
comical, needless to say. Yeah.
watching that idiot repeating his practiced lines. We at Facebook, we like to create a dynamic and safe place for many people to express their views. So, do you have a political side that you choose? We at Facebook like to create a dynamic and safe place for everyone to express their views. We, as a platform, do you have a political side to speak? We at Facebook. And then he short circuits. I love it. I think Mark Dice has a great video of that happening. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah, more importantly, for any investor in Facebook, you take a look at his testimony and his deposition and what information he provided. Granted, he wasn't under oath or anything like that, but if I was an investor, I wouldn't be so confident about having a CEO like Mark Zuckerberg, even though they don't produce anything, right? We know that, but just his ability to be human was hilarious watching him, because again, he was just so programmed, and the inability to really personalize things. It was so robotic.
He is not even human. He's not even human, man. It's hilarious to see it for what it is.
Somebody made a fake meme, and it had, during Zuckerberg's testimony, his contact lens fell out, and the leopard eye, or not the lizard eye, was there. It was fake, obviously, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah, of course. But it was good, man. I was glad to see that douchebag on there. That's why everybody should be on Steam It. Okay, at least be on Steam. Find platforms, man. I mean, I'm going to delve into Gab.ai. Let me see what my platform. Let me see here. Gab. Let me see what my profile is like. Gab.ai.
Okay. Yeah, and here's one angle as well, V, that in regards to Zuckerberg, and I mean, I think for the most part, if one, it's a huge distraction of what's happening in Syria, right? Because now everyone on social media, everyone's tuned in to, they're more concerned about what's going on with Mark Zuckerberg on the Hill than they are that we could be at the brink of World War III. And then the other thing that I'm concerned with is the last thing that I want is, and I know what I signed up for with Zuckerberg. I mean, I don't read every terms and condition, but I knew for the most part that they probably read all messages, that they probably own the pictures. Anything you put on there, they probably eventually will own, and not you. But the last thing that I want is for the government to utilize this for any type of regulation, or any type of monitoring, or any type of censorship that potentially could corrode even more free speech. And I think that that's definitely one perspective of what angle that people could take away from this is, oh yeah, you're right. We do need more control on the internet. We do need to be more monitored, because America's not, I shouldn't say just paint such a broad brush, but a large portion of America is just dumbed down to that, to understanding that they accept government regulation as a good thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And well, you got to understand, that was a dog and pony show. He wasn't under oath. My better half told me that. I didn't realize that, but he was not under oath. And the fact that most of the politicians there, they've all received contributions from Facebook. So, I mean, what is the point of the whole entire thing? So it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
And I do have a great story to share, though, if we have time. Yeah, I do want to share, and this is more for our audience, for us. I had a huge celebration yesterday, V, and this goes to the little guy. This goes to the people that say, hey, you can't fight back against government. Hey, you can't fight back against corporate. They're going to get away with whatever they want. Yesterday, we had a huge win in Indiana, and it's something that I spent a lot of time with. The autism community spent a lot of time with. And let me bring this up real quick for our listeners. Let's see here, boom. Boom, boom. To everyone. Can you see that, V? Show browser order up. Move up.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So, so back in 2005, and again, this goes back to, a little bit, us being able to leverage, some of social media, because this is how we found out about it. But a few years ago, Anthem Insurance Company, one of the largest insurance providers, especially here in the state, started sending out denial letters to autism families, basically stating that once a child reached school age, that it then became the school's responsibility to provide one form of autism therapy known as ABA, applied behavior therapy. And so they were sending denial letters. And some of these kids one of these families whose son was completely nonverbal, the schools had no means. And why this was completely illegal in Indiana, because Indiana has one of the best autism mandates that, guarantees care, and in particular ABA therapy for families. So this one family was brave enough to launch a lawsuit against Anthem Insurance. I found out about it. One of the other advocates found out about here in the Midwest, and we rallied behind this family. We utilized the social media platform to draw awareness to this. I think it continues to this day. We have about 1,500 members in this advocacy group. We did a big rally on Monument Circle here in Indianapolis. We had banners, signs made. I probably have a picture of it somewhere. Yeah, right there it is. We had banners made. Several families came out, and we had one news anchor here that really helped us to establish this. Well, guess what happened yesterday? This family stuck with it from back in 2005, and yesterday Anthem agreed to pay a $1.6 million settlement to autism families. So for those naysayers that say, hey, it can't be done, you can't fight it back against, the little guy just can't do it. It can be done. And it takes a community. It takes people getting angry about things. It takes people getting excited about things to force these change. But I just want to share this because I think it's one of those cases where the little guy did win, and it's a huge moral victory. The 1.6 million will never compensate for those kids and the families that were hurt with their families, with their children not being able to attend ABA centers because their hours were drastically reduced, by Anthem. But it's a huge moral victory, and just shows that the little guy can fight back. V.
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely. The little guy can fight back. The little guy can make a massive victory. And I think now more than ever, we've been saying this for quite some time. It is time that we start some serious marches here, some serious it's time for the little guy to just rope in the deep state. That's it. It's time for the little guy to, all these things, insurance schemes, medical schemes, the corruption in the medical, industries, the corruption that we see everywhere. These are all symptoms of a much larger problem. And that is the deep state attitude, or the deep state way of being, or the deep state mindset. And this mindset, this corrupt, oligarchical, fascistic mindset has creeped into every sector of our life. If you look at corporations are mimicking governments, which is basically what's best for them. Screw everybody else.
Bingo, exactly.
Look at Facebook. That idiot Zuckerberg says, "People trust me. F them." He called Facebook users dumb effers. This guy who should be punched right in his big forehead, he called you a dumb effer. I don't have a Facebook profile, and there are ways you can shut it off. Why do you need one? To connect with people that don't even care about you? Why do you need it? Because here's the deal. There are ways you can permanently shut down your Facebook profile, and what they do is they completely purge it out of their servers, including your photos. And you can get all your photos out of there, and they send it to you in a zip drive. I've done this a few years ago. I still think they still do that. Everybody just shut their Facebook platform. Why use Facebook? Who but old people are using Facebook now? Guys like Senator Orrin Hatch, who's like 85 years old, using Facebook.
It's a massive. It's a massive audience. I mean, it's massive.
Yeah,
when you
but
think
in terms of activity, you look at activity. There are more people using, in terms of activity, more activity going on in Instagram and in Snapchat than in Facebook. The amount of audience has dropped precipitously in Facebook. They've lost so many members because the young, which made originally Facebook hip and cool and this, that, and the other, they've moved on. They're on Instagram, they're on Snap, and I think the timing is very. I think the environment right now and the market is perfect for a real disruptor to come along and really blow Facebook out of the water. So these are the things that people need to consider. If we're serious about it, folks, we need to vote with our time, vote with our dollars, and get the hell out of those platforms. It's like you can't say you hate Facebook and you hate Mark Zuckerberg. You just have a Facebook profile. What's up with that?
Exactly. I mean, nobody forces us into these systems, right? We do it voluntarily, right?
And then when we say, hey, you know what? Show me you're really serious by taking it off. Show me you're really serious. I mean, my God sakes, man, there are people like pictures of their little babies and stuff on Facebook. They think, oh, it's private. My profile said to private. Nobody can see it. No, nothing's private. Okay, nothing's private. They sell out that data. That data includes your photo. That means that corporation who buys the photo of your kid, that corporation whose CEO could be a pedophile for all we know. I mean, you ever ask yourself a question, guys? How many of your children's photos are right now, floating around in the dark web, or not even the dark web, regular web, but it's floating around some network for pedophiles right now. You ever think about that? No, of course not. So you say you hate Facebook, you hate Mark Zuckerberg, you hate everything, but you still have a profile. What's up with that? You see, once you take your profile off, people are like, hey, man, why'd you take your profile off? And you tell them, hey, man, I took it off because of this, that, and the other. Oh, man, all right. And you could actually provoke thought in them where they say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take my profile off as well. That's how you begin. You say you hate bank. Oh, I hate the banksters. But most of you, I'd say the vast 99% of you, have your entire life savings, everything you have in a bank. But you hate banking. Oh, you don't understand, V. How am I going to live? There's ways around it. You say you love gold and silver and cryptocurrencies, but you're not in it. You're not buying any of it. You like to talk about it. You like to comment about it, but you're not doing anything about it. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. What I'm starting to find out is most people just talk a lot of smack. I mean, I've spoken to people that are like, yeah, I hate the banking system and I hate this. So what are you doing actively to get around it? Nothing. I just like to vocalize my hatred. But you're going tomorrow to open up another CD account that gets 0.001% interest. I mean, come on. You see, 80% of people talk a lot of smack. 20-some-odd% of people will actually start doing something about it. And out of that, 1 to 3% will radically do something about it, where they are completely unplugged. You can't find them. You can't. They look like they own nothing on paper. They've, outsourced and they've offshored and they're setting up, alternative places for them to live and go, and they're internationalizing themselves. They're doing things, and these are not wealthy people. It doesn't take wealth to do it. It takes smarts, and it's never lack of resources. It's always, no matter what excuse you want to use for yourself, it's always lack of resourcefulness. That's what it comes down to. So you hate Facebook. So what are you doing about it? You still have your Facebook profile? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how much you hate Facebook if you have a Facebook profile out. I don't want to hear how much you hate banking if you got $100,000 sitting in a checking account. And you just open up a CD and you're sitting with your JP Morgan. Every time I walk into JP Morgan, oh, hello, Mr. V. How are you? How would you like to sit with our preferred clients? Our preferred client manager? I'm like, no. Our financial planners could help. No. Why? Because if you hate the financial system, why are you leaving your financial future in the hands of somebody else? I hate the banksters. I have an appointment tomorrow with Merrill Lynch to go over my retirement portfolio. No, look at me. I'm informed. I know what's going on. Folks, you got to live what you preach, man. You got to live what you preach. I mean, can you imagine if I had a health channel? I'm talking about health and fitness, and I'm a 500-pound fat blob. and I'm camming myself so you can see my face, and I have like a delicious Italian combo. A delicious Italian with mayo just dripping out the side, and I'm eating in front of you, telling you how efficacious compound movements are, such as a bench press, a deadlift, a squat, a military press. How, and I'm telling you about all this. I'm telling you about high intensity training, and I'm telling you about concentric and eccentric motions. I'm telling you about multiplanar movements, and I'm a 500-pound fat blob eating an Italian combo with mayo oozing out of the side of the bun. Yeah, this guy's an idiot. Yeah, but I love fitness. I'm very knowledgeable. But you're not doing anything. You're the shoemaker. It's like that old saying, the shoemaker's kids has no shoes.
Well, V, in our VR world, we can be whatever we want to be. I mean,
honestly,
in my VR world, I'm like 6'8", playing basketball and dunking it. I'm
you're LeBron Jamesing it, bro. You're Mike Jordan in them,
And in reality, I'm trying to create an MMA league for like elderly people to do mixed martial arts and stay active.
At least there's that. Right? At least there's that. You can do that. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But this is what I see over and over again. The reason why, think about it. I go to, I'll do a show on somebody else's platform, and I'll read the comments. Smart ass comments. And believe me, there's a part of me that wants to respond to every single comment and just absolutely. If you've ever seen one of my comment responses, I absolutely savage people in the most intellectual way possible. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad what I do. And I read the comments. And the comments are from people who just don't get it, are not doing anything. They like the fact they just like to bitch all day. I see most of these comments are 99 point. Actually, pretty much every single one of those comments are from men. Women don't make stupid comments like that. It's these low testosterone, bitchy little men who just don't get it. But they know it all. Why would I want to get cryptocurrencies just because a bunch of computers are circle jerking some sort of program? I buy gold and silver. Well, how much gold and silver you got? Crickets, right? So I mean, this is what I do. See, let me explain something to you. Here we go. So I get these guys, right, and I asked them, right? So how much gold and silver do you have? What are you doing? And this is what you hear. So, what kind of plans are you laying out? I mean, you hate the banksters. You still have a bank account. What's your alternative? What are you trying to do? So, you want to offshore yourself. You hate cryptocurrency. Do you know anything about blockchain? Do you know how it works? Well, the globalists, they'll control everything. But do you know how it works? Buy gold and silver. Well, physical inventory is drying up. If you want to do a large scale orders north of $200,000, premiums are starting to jump. Do you know about that? Well, you gotta, on and on and on, because these are little busybodies who are so good. They're so good at the blogs and the chat rooms and the forums and the comment sections. But you ask them what are they doing for their life? What are they doing to really position themselves? I'm not talking about running to the mountains and hiding in a bunker. That's BS. That's a bunch of nonsense. I'm talking about what kind of smart moves are you doing to prosper? And this is what you hear. Crickets.
V, every time you play that, it makes me want to close my eyes and take a nap. I'm like, okay, time to sleep now. It's like, I can't take a nap. It's too early.
Yeah. Most people are asleep, man. Most people should be asleep. They have no plans. Nothing. So they'll sit there. They'll get happy about it. They'll start cheering. Mark Zuckerberg getting grilled on Facebook. Oh, hold on. I got to update my status. Hold on. Hold on. Chiquita. Yes, I will meet you at the local bodega. Send. Oh, Tyrone just texted me. Hold on. Hold on. Bobby's calling me. Let me update my Facebook status. Facebook status. Let me update my. Mark Zuckerberg was getting grilled by Congress. LOL. But you hate Facebook. But you hate the banks. See, you say you hate the establishment, but you love them. You love them. You can't live without them. Why? Because you're lazy. I hate Google. I hate all the tech companies. Well, get into Linux. What are you using Linux? Are you using Linux? Are you? I hate Twitter. Well, are you on Gab? Did you hear? Are you on Steam It? I mean, the list goes. Everybody talks a mean game. Anyway, meanwhile in the land of adults, Siege. It's from our good buddy Ken Georgian, dailyeconomist.com. Individual, national, and global debt is now so high, it is virtually impossible for any of it to be paid off. Siege, you want to break that down real quick? And I'll jump in as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've been discussing and covering for so long, is that the existing system, V, is not sustainable. So Ken has a great article here with central banks having destroyed savings for individuals across the Western world. There's hardly a single country out there that ruins a capitalist system. Instead, thanks to the economic growth being run solely on credit expansion, the new norm is in the financial realm as a modern known as creditism. And when you take a look at the amount of debt that is out there globally, V, it just completely shows, for example, that in the fourth quarter of 2017 alone, that global debt increased by $4 trillion.
Yep.
And that the new debt globally rests, and obviously this is probably a low number, $230 trillion, which is 3.82 times higher than annual global GDP.
382% higher than global GDP. How do you like them apples? And that's just not numbers from the IFF. It's also numbers from the BIS, the IMF. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Right? I mean, this is the lunacy of the central banker. Debt. Well, we got so much debt. We'll just create more debt. But of course, Ken writes, the world governments being so fiscally irresponsible and central banks wanting credit expansion to reach impossible heights, this has also led to the American consumer to expand their debt use to record levels, which now stands even above the height of the housing bubble and the period which led to the financial crisis above 2008. In other words, folks, we are far worse than where we were in 2008. Collapse of either the debt bubble and the global currencies isn't a possibility in the future. It is an inevitability. And with this in mind, people must now be formulating plans for when this will occur, because the longer they wait, the worse the consequence of a debt crisis will be for them and their livelihoods. And again, folks, the question is, you know that global debt is unsustainable. You know that it's horrible. Well, V, I only have a part-time job. Oh, V, do you have a brain? I mean, seriously, do you have a brain? If you have a brain, learn something new. If you have a brain, if you are creative or you're not creative, learn how to be creative. Figure out an additional income stream. Figure out how you can make more money, whether it's starting a side business, a home-based business, an internet business, or a network marketing, or whatever the hell it is you got to do. Damn it, man, figure it out. Most of you like to just sit there and bitch about what's not happening in your life, and I get it. This is therapy. I get it. Making you talk about how much you know about the global crisis and how you know about the banksters and how the elites control everything makes you feel good. It makes you feel real good. It makes you feel like you're well informed. You're well informed. But take a microscope to you, and somebody asks you, somebody really pointedly asks you, so what are you doing? You see all this global debt out there. What are you doing for your life? Nothing. That's the answer you get. Nothing. Here's another article right here real quick. This is from the New American. CBO update, Congressional Budget Office update, $1 trillion deficits to arrive 2 years sooner. Why is that even news? This is normal. This is normal, folks. Okay? One of the outcomes is certain. Government spending is running away from government revenues. The No Relief Insight considered that the federal government is slated to spend $4.1 trillion this year, with $2.5 trillion on entitlements. And in 10 years, according to the Congressional Budget Office, the government will be spending $7 trillion a year, with $4.5 trillion on that entitlements. Put it another way, entitlements will grow from $2.5 trillion today to $4.5 trillion in 10 years. That's a jump of 80%. 80% jump in 10 years for entitlements. This is unsustainable. But we're not going to have an adult conversation because the politician is looking to survive 4 years and get reelected on his next term and pass the buck and kick the road down the can. Because you ask a politician, hey guy, what's the solution? What's the real solution? Let's have real talk. Let's have a real conversation about global debt, about this nation's debt, and this is what you hear. That's from Congress. So you ask the country. This country, we have turned into a nation of parrots. We have turned into a nation of memes and axioms. Okay? Memes and axioms. Everybody's venting something. Everybody's bitching about something. Folks, do you realize you are listening to one of the only programs in the world where we actually offer you solutions? And we don't sell you a pill. We don't sell you some potion or lotion. We actually sell you solutions. You're in debt, we can help you out. You're being sued, we can help you out. You're in bankruptcy, we can help you out. You need your credit repair, we can help you out. You want to learn cryptos, we can help you out. You want to offshore gold, we can help you out. You want to set up an offshore account, we can help you out. You want to move internationally in the money market and know how it's played. You want to be in a liquid gold account diversified into 24 different currencies, I can help you out. The rest of the country out there, if you go on every single channel, dude, CJ, tell me if I'm wrong on this. Go on every single alt media channel. Go on every single mainstream channel. All they do is what? Bitch. It's a bitch fest. Am I wrong, Siege?
No, absolutely right, B.
Siege, do you know anybody else that actually offers real freaking solutions?
No, not at the multi-level that we do, B. No one.
No. Nobody. I mean, everybody else is throwing pills and potions, right? Everybody else has a product to sell you in terms of here's buy a t-shirt, here's a coffee mug, join my bitch fest. Here's Super Virginity 1000. Feel like a 10-year-old boy again.
You're forgetting my favorite V.
Which one?
The colon cleanse.
Oh yeah. Here's Super Colon Blow 10,000. Try this. Feel your insides rumble while you rail at the New World Order. That's all. This, do you understand? You take a step back, like real talk. Let's take a step back, real talk, like my man Dex would always say, real talk. Apart from bitching, what are you guys doing? All you're doing is bitching. You're going on boards that bitch. You go to websites that bitch to hear other people bitch, and you buy their bitch products so you can take it so you can bitch some more. None of you are doing anything. Real talk. Look yourself in the mirror right now. You want to be pissed off at somebody? Go look yourself in the mirror. You are where you are in life because of the decisions you made. This is not going out to every single one of you. There's some of you who needs to hear this. It's 2018. It's late in the game. Some of you are in poor health. You're overweight. When you're going to get back in shape. So what are you going to do about your health? I hate the government. They're polluting our food and water, and they're adding all these additives and cancer causing things. But you're like 100 pounds overweight. What are you doing about it? Everybody's bitching. This is it. These are just echo chambers, folks. You can count on one hand how many people actually provide solutions. Maybe you can count on one hand. Yours truly, and the operation we got here being one of them. Real talk. And when people come with real solutions, when I got like guys like Dex on here, Dex will come on and be like, yo, I got a trading room. You want to learn how to trade stocks? You can make some money, additional income. You got commentators who come in, why do I want to make money in the stock market? It's going to crash tomorrow. I'm smart because I know this. It's going to crash tomorrow. But in terms of what's going on in their life, that's what you hear, crickets. What are you doing about it? Well, what about cryptocurrencies? Crypto is great. It's wonderful, but it's all controlled. You want to learn how to trade it? Nope. And here we are, same situation as in 2008, but 10 times worse. 10 times worse. 80% increase in government deficit. Interest payments, which are expected to total $241 billion. $241 billion in the fiscal year 2018 will leap, according to the CBO, to nearly $1 trillion annually. $1 trillion. These numbers are so incomprehensibly large that it's useful to consider a small business owner seeking to grow his business to provide a better life for his family. He decides to take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. Oh, I remember those days. They're giving those things out like lollipops. And he uses the proceeds to expand his workplace, hire more workers, pay for tuition for himself and his employees at a local community college, and expand his advertising. His projections all make sense. He anticipates that his profitability will grow by more than enough, not only to cover the interest payments and expenses on his HELOC, but to pay it off entirely in 10 years. But within his first year, he realizes that the profitability projection is not only too generous, it is far out of reach. He now starts using his credit cards to service his HELOC. One can draw the inevitable conclusions. He's headed for bankruptcy. However, take this example further. Our erstwhile business owner, here's Dave Ramsey. Oh, God, I hate Dave Ramsey. Why does this guy even have a radio show?
Because it's important to learn how to budget.
This is elementary BS that your grandmother taught you. You need to listen to a radio personality tell you that you need help. You have a far worse problem than learning how to budget. You need help. It's amazing. We're a country where idiots like Dave Ramsey actually have a radio show. It's oh my God. Financial Peace. He has a program called Financial Peace University. And he begins to do what the federal government's unwilling to do: cut expenses. He sells one of his cars, trades in the other for a beater, negotiates a better deal on his office lease. He and his wife learn to shop with coupons due without credit cards. They have burned them at a celebration party. They eat out once a month instead of 2 times a week. They buy in bulk at Sam's Club. He takes on part-time work with a local construction company. Within a few years, our business owner is debt-free, sleeps better at night, and rejoices in his financial freedom. Or you could just do the guerrilla way and say F you to all your creditors and payment guys and get your credit fixed and wipe out all your debts and say and start all over again. Amazing. But, that's Dave Ramsey, the straight and narrow way. Anyway. This is where we're heading. More and more debt, more and more problems. And this eventually is going to pop. It's going to pop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's going to happen in the end? What's going to happen in the end? What are we doing as a people? What are we doing as a community? What are we doing as like-minded individuals to prepare, not to hide for the hills? So, folks, if you're interpreting my message like, okay, if he's on there, okay, I got the bunker, check. I need to get the cat food, check. Got 54 firearms, check. You're wasting your time, talent, and treasure doing that when you could be setting yourself up to really prosper. Some of you might need to move. You might need to move to a more conservative, more libertarian-oriented, more constitutional, gun-loving state. You might need to do that. Which brings us to the next thing, Siege. We'll close out with the Fire Mueller, Fire Sessions, Fire Pencil Dick.
Yeah, real quick,
who's Pencil Dick?
Who's that? The deputy AG, the one that he
fired.
Rosenstein. Thank you. When I was emailing you, I couldn't think of his name, so I just put Pencil Dick.
I love it.
No, just real quick, I guess it's just announced that Paul Ryan won't seek re-election. I don't know whether that means just from Speaker of House or he's just completely leaving. And one thing is clear, B, what you just stated in regards to what's happening, financially, is that all this debt, all this printing is going to, come to us in the effect of inflation. Okay, it's bound to happen sooner than later. So when we hear the amount of massive people that are running from Congress, running from Senate, not seeking re-election, when we see the events unfolding in Syria, something that we talked about, B, is that they're going to need something to blame on this shift. When the current economic system ends and the new form takes over, they're going to need something to blame. And in part, every war is a banker's war. And in part, whether they're trying to save the old system or collapse the old and bring in something new, I truly think that that's what we're witnessing here unfold right now, V.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. It's a complete and total debauchery. And Harley has a great article up at Rogue Money, as well as LaRouche Pack as well. Enough. Call Congress and your senator and tell them to shut down Robert Mueller. Stop the British Strata War. That's it.
Yeah, it's it. That has to be the first step. That has to be the first step, is for all of us to call our state Congress, Senate representatives and demand them, because right now they're issuing warnings to Trump not to fire Mueller. They're like, don't do it. We're recommending. I don't care. Again, I said it numerous times. I don't care about, any type of political gain at this point. Call your representatives, your senators, let them know that patriots have the back of the president, and that in the event that he fires Mueller and they try to bring part any types of articles of impeachment, everything else, the patriots will rise. We will be there, and this needs to be done. That our representatives need to hear a voice that we do support the firing of Robert Mueller, and this needs to be the first step to break the chains that have been holding down this administration.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely correct, my man. Absolutely correct. And with that being said, Siege, we're at the end of the program. Let me see again, guys. I didn't plug them in the beginning. Check out our services, our real solutions we offer: RemainCalm.net and thecryptoschool.io. Two amazing solutions. And if you're sitting on a mountain of cash and you want to get into gold, you want to get into liquidity, you can contact me via roguemoney.net, roguemoney.net, and that's this is for offshoring, and this this is what I've been doing for the last several years. With my guys over in Hong Kong and in Singapore. So if you want to get that going for yourself, and again, I think the minimum on the account opening is probably north of 100K. So if you're sitting on more than north of 100K, you want to get this going, let me know. We can help you out. With that being said, we're over and out. Take it away, CJ.